everyone, I'm Rachel Querco, and we are live at PAX Prime for the final day of the North American Regional Finals. TSM and Dignitas have already qualified for the Season 2 Championships, as well as secured their spots in the Season 3 Championship Series. Who will join them and who will go home? Let's find out right now.
Are you guys ready for some League of Legends action?
The intensity in this room right now, thousands of people watching.
Look at this initiation combo, but they're gonna go for the counterattack.
Triple kill.
Too much damage is being dealt.
Will they have what it takes to take down both?
Everything is gonna go down. This is insane.
One more shot to go, the Nexus falls. Securing themselves into the World Championships.
Undisputed and the first place seed at the championship in Los Angeles.
Welcome, Summoners, to the Season 2 League of Legends North American Regionals. Please welcome your hosts, Rachel Querco and Adam Makauka.
Woo! All right! Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Adam Makauka.
And I'm Rachel Querco, and we're getting down to business here on the final Sunday of the League of Legends North American Regionals.
All right, Dignitas and TSM have already won the right to represent North America at the World Championship and stamp their golden ticket to the Season 3 Championship Series. The winner of this match will get the third and final slot and join them in LA. So who do you guys think it's gonna be? Woo! All right. Hey, if you're here for CLG, let me hear some noise. Yeah? All right, guys, and if you're here for Curse, let me hear some noise.
Wasn't expecting.
All right, well, listen, let's pass it over to the guys that will be calling the match. Give it up for Jat and Jaws. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, Adam and Rachel. I'm Steve Jaws Jaworski.
And I'm Joshua Jat Leisman. For these two teams, this upcoming match is probably the most important match of their lives.
This showdown means so much more than a third place finish. For one team, it's on to LA for the Season 2 World Championship, as well as a guaranteed slot in the Season 3 Championship Series. But the fourth place team is just going to go home disappointed. So why don't we take a look back at yesterday's action and see just how these two teams got here.
Every match has to kick off with something, and today it's a surprise visit from the Odd One. Helping Dyrus on Shen push out Cop on Corki top lane, Shen gets the first blood for TSM, taking out Elements. Usually a dominant force, Reginald on Rise struggled early in game when Morgana, played by Nijaki, would combo his way to shutting down TSM designs on the late game threat of Rise. The game developed well for Chaos on Graves. At 17 minutes, driving in bottom lane, Graves drops Elements and Cop, creating a 4-2 lead. Huge team battles between 25 and 26 minutes, with even kills 9-9. But a brazen Chaos on Graves with extremely low health jumps in on two members of Curse to help Reginald shut down St. Vicious. Top lane, a final team battle won by TSM would let Chaos, Odd One, and Dyrus face tank towers to kill the Nexus and grant them a Game 1 victory. Chaos on Graves forced the turning point in the match by putting on his AD carry pants and destroying Curse. Curse would not take Game 2 lying down. Nijaki on Morgana showed textbook ganking skills to pull first blood on Chaos. 9 minutes in, Dyrus face checks a bush and has to retreat to tower. Odd One appears with his ult to counter and take the second kill of the game.
Gets out with a sliver of health.
St. Vicious swoops into the jungle on Odd One. Maokai flashes and then walks back into Cop and Shyvana, allowing them to kill. and some extra damage on Reginald to help Nijaki go up another 300 gold. 12 kills to 7 and 9k cursed gold lead, X Special on Blitzcrank initiates a teamfight, and chaos ensues. Cop, chunking down TSM, picks up 1, 2, 3, quadra kill. That led to a curse attempt on Baron, but another surprise visit from Odd One got him the steal on Nasher and kept TSM alive. On a roll, Cop on Corki would get a triple kill, another ace, and Curse would take Game 2. Cop, using Corki, continued the AD carry story from Game 1, but with a better outcome for Curse. How did TSM respond? Minimize risk and do what works. Pushing towers quickly. By 15 minutes, they had 3 towers to 1 and a 1,500 gold lead. Near Dragon, Reginald's counter pick of Morgana binds up Nijaki and forces Curse to fight. Shackle splits Curse and Westerice falls after getting stuck in the Dragon Pit.
Like at tournaments, right, if you get an early lead, it's really easy to finish a game. As soon as I hit Darius with the bind, I yelled out Darius right away. Right before it landed, I was like, Darius! I screamed my lungs out and everyone knew what to do. We went on Darius, he flashed over, everyone followed up. We killed like 3 players and we ended up finishing the game.
With a 10-3 lead, Westerice gets caught and TSM takes command over another team fight, getting a triple kill for Chaos, which would allow them to push all the way into Curse's base and topple the Nexus towers for the win. Again, Chaos on Graves makes the difference and gets TSM to the finals. Match 2 featured a head-to-head collision of 2 smack-talking junglers, CLG's Hotshot GG versus I Will Dominate of Dignitas. Game 1 opened up with a clash of these 2 junglers, when Hotshot GG's Shen dashed onto I Will Dominate's Udyr while he tried to take the enemy raid camp. With the help of Big Fat LP's Anivia, Hotshot was able to assist in securing first blood. At 35 minutes, Scar's Gragas would instantly burst Chowster's Sona with a QR combo. Scar would continue to be a terror on Gragas, leading his team into CLG's base, picking up 2 more kills on his way to godlike status, and Dignitas would win Game 1 in convincing fashion. Let's take a look at Scar's godlike stat line. He ended up with 7 kills, 7 assists, and 0 deaths. Game 2 was an epic 76-minute showdown, keeping everyone on the edge of their seats every second of the way. Dignitas opened Game 2 with a poke comp that centered around Crumbs' Nidalee.
It's not just about the Nidalee, it's about every single member of the team that fits perfectly. We have Jam for disengage, Alistar for disengage, same goes for Gragas, and long range poke.
That poke comp allowed Dignitas to bully their way into CLG's base at 28 minutes. This led to them taking their first inhibitor, the bottom turret, and complete control of the game. At 35 minutes, Dignitas' Scar felt the game should have been over.
It was in our control for the majority of the game, up until 40 minutes. And then we made a really, really bad call going for Baron. It didn't work out the way we wanted it to. And we just killed Cho'Gath. We should have been able to get 2 free inhibs, and we should have pushed for it. But instead, we tried to do a Baron call and a disengage, and it didn't work out the way we wanted to. And we just gave them like free kills and a free Baron to get back into the game.
And get back into the game they did. They went up by 2 kills and pulled themselves within 5,000 gold. 10 minutes later, CLG took another Baron and picked off Scar, but I'm a Cutie Pie's Caitlyn took out 2 of their inhibitors in the process. After successfully defending their base behind a triple kill from Doublelift's Kog'Maw, CLG pushed their way into Dignitas' base. Doublelift earned legendary status, and after getting shut down, he picked up another triple kill when his passive detonated on Scar. Despite CLG's efforts, Dignitas was able to chase them out of their base. Over the next 25 minutes, Dignitas took 2 Barons and methodically took out all 3 of CLG's inhibitors twice. At an incredible 74 minutes, both teams were over 100,000 gold. Dignitas would make their final push, joining their minions at the Nexus.
Doublelift's forced out of the fight. The shots could be going down. Hotshot getting caught too far out, and he's down to about 25% HP. This could be the final push. Dignitas takes Game 2 and puts themselves into the Season 3 Championship Series. Puts themselves in the Season 2 $2 million spot and in the North American Regional Finals.
Crumbs was so important to that overall team poke composition, his Lichbane allowed him to methodically melt so many turrets and inhibitors. And shout out to Chauster, 0 deaths in a 76-minute game. Amazing. This win sets Dignitas up for a showdown in the finals against Team Solo Mid.
I think that TSM is a weaker opponent than CLG, so I think it should be a 2-0 win.
What an incredible game 2. That CLG Dignitas showdown was 76 minutes, and the matches up to this point have been so intense with so much on the line. But before we get into today's matches, let's talk a little bit about what they're playing for, Jat. A spot in the Season 2 World Championship.
The top 12 teams from around the world will make it. 3 from North America, 3 from Europe, 2 from Korea, 2 from China, and then 2 from Southeast Asia. So who has already qualified? Well, Europe, we have Moscow 5, SK Gaming, and CLG EU. From North America thus far, we have TSM, Dignitas, and then the winner of this CLG Curse game. China has World Elite and Invictus Gaming. The Taipei Assassins have also just qualified, and then we'll also have the other top teams from around the world yet to play.
Yeah, Korea and Southeast Asia have still yet to play, so there are still spots open. But for now, we are trying to figure out who's going to be in that 3rd, 4th place match, and we'll go to the World Playoffs. It's going to take place on October 4th through 6th. 12 teams enter, but only 2 teams are going to make it to the World Finals the following week.
So how does this World Playoff actually work? So it will start with a group stage. Best of 1, round robin. 2 groups of 4, and 2 teams will advance from each group. That moves on to the best of 1, 8-team single elimination. The top teams from North America, Europe, Korea, and China will get a bye into that 8-team single elimination tournament, with the only 2 top teams after that tournament's done moving on to the World Finals.
And now let's talk about the format for the World Finals match between those top 2 teams that work their way out of those World Playoffs. It's going to be on October 13th at the USC Basketball Arena. It's going to be 1 best-of-5 match for everything. The winner gets $1 million out of a total $2 million prize purse, and tickets are still available, so go to LeagueOfLegends.com if you want to be there live.
Okay, now that we know what is absolutely on the line, let's get right into our match, Curse versus CLG.
And Jat, this is the biggest match of these players' lives, no question. 2 veteran teams that have been around forever. This could be their big break.
So let's send it back to the stage so Rachel and Adam can introduce our teams.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's introduce the teams. First up, your number 4 seed. They dominated TSM.evo in the first round, only to fall in an extremely close series against TSM in the semifinals. A team that can beat any team on any given day, Curse Gaming. All right, first up for Curse in top lane, a legendary Akali player. It is Wes Rice.
Next up, his support, Fiddlesticks, it's even weird to say, has teams running in fear. A fan favorite and Curse's support, it's Elements.
All right, the AD carry for Curse comes into this match sporting the highest gold per minute and KDA in the tournament. Welcome to the stage, Cop.
Next up, making the calls and setting his team up for success, the outspoken jungler looks to take it to his old team. Please give it up for Saint Vicious.
And finally, known for his terrifying Morgana and Vhagar, holding down mid for Curse. Give it up, please, for Nye Jackie.
Let's hear it one more time for Curse Gaming.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the boys from CLG to the stage. First up, CLG's top laner, who has been known to single-handedly turn a match around. Welcome, Boy Boy! Next to the stage, she's the founder of CLG and now roams the jungle. It's Hotshot GG!
This next guy is one of the original Anivia pioneers and a CLG veteran. Please welcome Big Fat LP!
Oh, he's giving it away! He's giving it away!
This AD carry refuses to be out-farmed in this tournament. Give it up for Double M!
And finally, one of the most respected strategists in the professional League of Legends scene. Please welcome everyone, Chowster!
One more time for CLG!
Come on, give it up for him, give it up for him.
All right, guys, it is win or go home. Let's send it back over to Jet and Jaws and get this game underway.
Thanks, guys. And Jat, CLG versus Curse. It has all come down to this one best of three for a spot in the World Championship playoff. What do you think is going to happen?
There's so much history between these teams. Hotshot getting rid of St. Vicious from CLG. Now it could come back to destroy his chances to get into Season 2. And really, we sat down with some of the teams before the match, and here's what they had to say about their upcoming opponent.
For Curse and CLG, stakes for the third, fourth place match are actually higher than they are for the first, second place match.
This is the one that actually matters.
I think we're one of the best teams in North America. Curse is a little bit under, but they're still strong.
I honestly think we're a better team than CLG. It's going to be really interesting because St. Vicious and Elements both used to be members of CLG.
And I'm sure they're going to have some crazy cockamamie strategy, like 10 teleports or something.
We know they have no strategies, no cheese.
How the hell do you know that they don't have cheese, dude?
Curse has a strong chance to take out CLG.
They just need to kind of regroup and say, look, guys, they know they can win. We know they can win. It's anyone's game. Especially for CLG, there's no way that failure is an option for them at this point. They spent so much time building up their team. If that doesn't pay off for them, it's going to be disastrous.
Well, like you said, so much history, and this is really a grudge match of sorts. So let's get into the keys to the game. What is Curse going to need to focus on to take CLG out and secure their place in the World Championships? It seems like they're, first off, going to have to diversify that team strategy.
When they faltered versus TSM yesterday, it was once they got Morgana taken away from them. Nijaki didn't seem to have something ready to go. They need to be able to have more than one strat. They need to have multiple avenues to get work done. It's just a matter of them coming up with the right thing if their key champions get banned out.
But not just that, they're going to have to coordinate those initiates into the team fights.
It's really all about St. Vicious and Nijaki going together. They buddy up and they start fights together. If it's just St. Vicious going in there, it's not going to work. That's what happened in Game 3 against TSM yesterday. But in Games 1 and 2, 1 was super close, 2 they won in stunning fashion. They were going in well and together.
And against a defensive team like CLG, Curse is going to have to create some opportunities.
They've done such a great job of this all tournament. They have the most gold per minute on every champion on their team, every individual player, because they create so many Dragon opportunities. They take global objectives. They put the pressure on the other team. Really, TSM has been known to be the top, most aggressive team in this tournament, but with Curse's objective control and how well they've been ending games, I got to give that title to Curse this tournament.
Curse has been like clockwork on those Dragons. Now let's get into the keys for CLG. They need to take the initiative in this match.
That's the big thing for CLG. Back in the day, they were very content sitting back, stalling, waiting for the one team fight, and then going and winning the game. This tournament, that doesn't work anymore. Teams have adapted to them. They're getting pushed around in a lot of ways. They have to take the game on for themselves. They need to make things happen. The one game they did this tournament against Legion, game one, they won it very quickly, and that's the thing they need to get back to. They've just been getting pushed around all tourney.
And not only that, they're going to have to fight clean in these team fights.
There is a bit of chaotic communication that goes on with CLG. If any of you can remember back when they used to stream their matches, they yell at each other during team fights. They're very chaotic. If they don't fight clean, if they don't fight together, they're going to get mixed up. They're all great individual players, but they need to fight together.
And speaking of an individual player, Double Lift was unbelievable in that semifinal series, but CLG is going to have to take some of the pressure off of him.
Kog'Maw carry is great, but it's faltering if he is the only source of threat. Last game, it was all about when Double Lift died, they just lose the team fight. You compare that to something like Dignitas' team comps on their first match when they had Ryzen mid, Jackson top, and a Kog'Maw. Diversified threat. It's really just a matter of them making more than one person that can die in a team fight and still come out on top.
And now we're going to take a look at our featured matchup. No surprise here. It is in the jungle. Hotshot GG versus Saint Vicious. And this is a serious grudge match, Jet.
So much hype going into this matchup. Really, who is going to out-jungle the other one? Because Saint Vicious and Hotshot, when they were on CLG together, clashed like crazy. So much so that they both wanted to lead, they both wanted to call strategy. Now they've split up. Hotshot removed Saint Vicious to the team. If he does that and Saint Vicious comes back and knocks him out of Season 3, that will be the ultimate revenge.
We'll have to see. I actually kind of want to gauge the reaction for the audience. Let's see which jungler they are rooting for. For those of you in the crowd, if you want Hotshot to win this jungler duel, let me hear ya.
Now, for those of you who think Hotshot made a mistake in removing Saint Vicious from CLG and want to see him get the revenge on Hotshot, let's hear it for Saint Vicious.
A rousing ovation for Saint Vicious. And with that, the stage is set for this third, fourth place match. Everything on the line. But we want to hear what you have to say. Jump onto League of Legends Facebook page to weigh in, or also get on Twitter and use that hashtag NARegionals to voice your opinion. Jat, CLG, Curse, they've played so many times before. They've had an incredible tournament, even though both of them got knocked out. Those two series in the semifinals were unbelievable. What are they going to have to do in terms of the team compositions as we're about to get into Champion Select?
They got to just get their heads back in the game. You can't take those losses to heart. They played so well. Those games were so close. And now we're ready. We're into Champion Select.
And right away, bans flying out from CLG and Curse. Nunu, Yorick, and Shyvana for CLG, and Curse responding with Alistar, Shen, and Sivir. No real surprises there. Nunu is at almost 78% win rate for this tournament, and Saint Vicious has been jungling almost exclusively Shyvana when he gets her.
So much of the story about the 80 carries between Curse and TSM yesterday was about the team with Nunu and who could just buff up his attack speed and move speed, taking Nunu out right away. CLG and does not want to get into the race for who can get Nunu. But what they've done is while they banned out Saint Vicious and Shyvana, they've allowed Vladimir, who Westrice is super comfortable on, as well as Morgana if they don't choose to pick it away. And that Maokai is Saint Vicious' second go-to. Every time Shyvana is down, that is always his go-to pick.
And Westrice was banned out and picked out by TSM. They really gutted that top lane against Curse, with Westrice having his comfort zone with that Vladimir. See if he'll be able to take on Voyboy, who's been playing quite strong in this tournament. Big Fat LP snagging Sona. Smart support. That area of effect stun is going to do quite well in that bottom lane.
Another very interesting thing as CLG is well prepared for this match, locking in super fast. Yesterday, the bans against CLG from Dignitas was Olaf and Sivir in every game. Voyboy is, so I've heard, most comfortable on Olaf. Dignitas did the scouting report and saw it as a threat. So far, Curse either didn't know or doesn't consider it a bannable thing. They had a lot of things to take out. They did take out Alistar, they did take out Shen, and they took out Sivir to counter double lift. Whether Voyboy ends up going with that Olaf in the top lane once these picks go down will be really telling.
And at a couple points in this tournament, Voyboy would insta-lock Olaf first pick. He is not afraid of running Olaf blind against whomever. Westrice sitting on Corki. We've seen a ton of Corki in this tournament, although surprisingly he's only at about 50% win rate. But when he wins in commanding fashion, and Cop has been thoroughly enjoying that AD carry.
This is something the Curse was talking about earlier on. They know that CLG likes to sit around. They know that CLG likes to wait. So Elements was saying, I'm going to do Blitzcrank because if anything can break Turtles, it's landing the one Blitz hole and creating. If CLG wants to sit around for 50 minutes, they're going to go for those hooks.
And there is the Olaf. We were talking about Voyboy cracking a smile as he locks it in. Hot shot. Looks like he's going to be playing the jungle Mundo and Big Fat LP on Gragas. We've seen a lot of Gragas. Curse sitting on the Xerath. We may or may not see it. I would be a little bit of surprise if Nyjack is going to bust out the Veigar. He is famous for that Veigar.
Morgana is on the board, and the big thing is avoiding displacements from Gragas' ultimate with that Black Shield. He is so comfortable on Morg. I'd be very surprised if he didn't just lock it in once again.
And we saw Curse running that Vladimir Morgana composition and TSM responding with the Maokai. Curse now has the Maokai, so CLG won't be able to have that extra damage mitigation. But overall, an extremely aggressive composition from Curse Gaming.
Curse taking their time trying to lock in this Morgana. Be very surprised if they go with something else. They have the combo of initiations here. Nyjacky can go in with St. Vicious, and they can create fights together. There it is. These are the teams.
Couple swaps going out. We are going into game one shortly of this fourth place match. Winner gets a spot in the World Championship playoffs and a spot in the Season 3 Championship Series. Jat, looking at the team compositions, what are you thinking for this game one?
Another thing that's going to be so interesting is the high poke of the Sona Graves lane against the Blitzcrank Corki lane if they do end up matching up against each other 2v2. We have seen a lot of lane swaps in the past. We have the added intensity, though, of Elements getting replaced on support by Chowster. They actually used to be Chowster AD carry Elements support back in the old CLG. Then they removed him. So really, so much vengeance on the line for Curse if they want to take it home in this grudge match.
And looking a little bit closer at the stats for these team compositions, this is only the second game that Big Fat LP has played Gragas, but that was one of his best games of the tournament. So he may be able to really hard carry this game, and we could see a lot more aggression from CLG in this match.
We've seen so much immense success from Gragas in this tournament, especially in those games yesterday where Scar was just obliterating double lift with it. We got about 10 seconds before this game. Who here wants CLG to take it home? Let me hear you.
And who here wants to see Curse Gaming take their spot in the World Championship Series?
Everything's been loaded up, the stakes are set, and we are into the game.
Couple pings going down from Curse around the bottom mid river. They seem to be grouping up. They have the Blitzcrank and they have the Morgana, and that combination is a devastating level 1.
These early game engagements are so tense for these teams. Games can be won and lost if they get caught out by a Dark Binding or a Rocket Grab. Looks like Curse is grouping up a little bit. CLG playing very defensively. They don't want to get caught out by anything. If it's a hook or a binding that lands, it would be a kill for Curse.
And Hotshot GG sitting around making sure that Curse is not going to invade the Wraiths. A couple pings going out for Wraiths Golems and then back into bottom lane. GG going to start in the Wraiths.
It looks like Hotshot wants to start on the bottom side of his jungle, so they're being very careful to try to ward this off. But they are just absolutely terrified. They have no idea where Curse is. They placed 2 upper wards because they were expecting an invade in their blue jungle. But Curse is nowhere near, so CLG absolutely no information, and they have a very good reason to be scared right now.
Despite the Curse advancing guard, it looks like St. Vicious is sitting back at his Wolves. Going to start him out. It's about 131. There are the 2 saplings, so he's going to be starting the Wolves going into the blue. And Hotshot on Mundo is going to be starting on those Wraiths, so a more standard start despite potentially aggressive posturing from Curse Gaming.
They really just didn't move. They had the element of threat against CLG, but they did not decide to go anything crazy aggressive early on. We could see some kind of delayed invade as they still have 5 members here, but that 3rd ward placed by Chowster did most likely catch them out. I might have missed that. Did that see them?
It did see them. It saw a sliver of them, and CLG is backing off as a result. Curse is looping around for this red buff. Red is spawning, so an early aggressive play from Curse Gaming to take away Hotshot's red buff and some of his ganking potential.
Oh, and very interesting here, they actually give the blue buff to Voyboy, and this looks like they're going to leave him in a lane and let him try to farm with axes, getting the quick level 2, trying to counter invade because they did see the red buff get stolen. Hotshot going for one of his own. Will Curse be able to run up there and counter? Elements is going to be on his way. I don't know if they'll catch him out.
Hotshot is starting up on this red. It is very full health. Chauster is going to be helping him out, and Big Fat has just gone back to buy quickly. Elements and Nijaki and Cop are all sitting mid.
So they're actually trying a lot of interesting things here. This is a strange setup. They have 1v1 lanes in both the top and bottom, and it looks like the AD carry and support are running mid. We saw this in CLG's very first game of the tournament in their one decisive victory, so they're going back to that fast push style potentially and trying to take some initiative.
And not just that, Jat, take a look at these summoner spells. Double teleport into promote. We saw CLG flying around the map in their quarterfinal series against Legion.
CLG so sneaky when they do that. They actually wait until about 5 seconds before the game locks in to swap all the teleports in and all the promotes in, just to try to keep it hidden for as long as possible. This is exactly the same summoner spell setup that they ran in their one decisive victory over Legion. Let's see if they can get some fast pushing teleporting going on.
And Jat, it is actually triple teleport. Voyboy, Double Lift, and Big Fat are all running teleport with the Chowster promote. So I believe at Legion they were only running the double teleport with the cleanse on the AD carry. So CLG wants to be seriously flying around this map.
The general use of this strategy for them is to get an early tower down in the middle, then they'll push top and promote a minion bottom, so that they're trying to split up the threat of Curse. If you don't know how strong those promoted minions are, it takes towers probably 10 to 20 shots to finish them up, and they also increase the stats of the minions near them, so it actually makes it so even if you don't have a presence in a lane, that lane needs to be defensed if you don't want the towers to fall. It's a very splitty strategy for CLG, and we'll see how it works out for them.
With Elements and Cop mid, it looks like CLG has responded. Chowster is there, and St. Vicious has just walked through a reward, so Voyboy is going to see him. He's backing off immediately. Ping is going down, and he is going to be safe. But he's just going to stick back and continue the aggression as St. Vicious backs off into his own jungle.
One of CLG's counters to this jungle Maokai on St. Vicious was starting Chowster without items, but nothing but wards and health potions. He started with 5 wards. They put 3 down before the game even started, so they're really trying to give their lanes as much safety as possible and trying to starve St. Vicious from ganks. Maokai is not as fast a jungle farmer as Dr. Mundo is, so if they can prevent him from landing successful ganks, Hotshot can pull ahead of St. Vicious.
Chat, taking a closer look at this matchup, as Gragas goes in on Westrise. Westrise taking a decent amount of damage. He's at about a little over 50%. What is Big Fat going to want to do to bully Westrise around?
This is going to be fairly difficult for him because he really just wants to farm this lane, and the lane is so long that if he uses his body slam to initiate onto Westrise, he leaves himself very vulnerable to the St. Vicious ganks, especially once those wards drop out. This is one of the reasons you generally don't put AP carries in the solo lanes like that, is because they are so long, and if they try to go aggressive, it's very easy to get turned around by them. Plus, they don't necessarily want to spend all the money on wards themselves. So forcing a very odd game here. as Saintfishes tries to run mid, but gets seen by yet another ward.
And that's CLG's style. They want to put Curse on their heels. Curse, we said, they wanted to take the initiative, and CLG so strong at stalling the game out into this late game. They want to make sure that Curse is uncomfortable, and it really seems like Saintfishes can't do anything because he keeps getting seen.
And this is the game, even though CLG is doing a stall job right now, they're just waiting until their teleports can start taking effect. There's no way you bring triple teleport promote and don't start forcing something. If they somehow pull that off, I would be extremely disappointed in their execution because this strategy is all about pressure.
CLG building a small lead, 6 minutes in, 7,300 gold to 6,800. Westrice and Big Fat in the bottom lane. Pretty even in terms of minion kills, 33 for Big Fat as he belly flops into another minion wave. 35 now to Westrice's 32. Westrice has those double amplifying tomes, and Big Fat has grabbed the Cage's lucky pick, so he's going to have that extra gold generation passively, as well as a little bit of extra ability power.
And there we see they actually might get a gank on a Nijaki.
Hotshot goes in and the flash going out from Nijaki, but Nijaki has a 2-on-1, and Hotshot is there. He lands the cleaver. Could this be first blood? It's going to be first blood for Voyboy. CLG aggressive from the start.
Hotshot with the first successful gank of the game. He did not even attempt them. He waited until he knew the wards were down or that he could walk around them. And despite Saintfishes trying 4 or 5 ganks, Hotshot tries one and it commits. And here comes Saintfishes for his gank.
Flash going in from Saintfishes. Elements gets the grab, the ignite, and the exhaust. And Elements is going to take out Double It, so a back and forth right away from both of these teams.
Great counterpoint there by Saintfishes, keeping Curse in the game. The big thing right here, though, is how strong Voyboy is becoming. That blue buff spam in the top lane as Westrice tries to run through, but the Olaf has 59 minion kills to Nijaki's 21 on Morgana, so he is nearly tripling that score and has a kill on him, getting very early access to 2 gold generation items. This is the priority Olaf pick that CLG has been talking about, and they are showing us why Voyboy is so comfortable on it.
He is pushing Nijaki around. Nijaki going back, grabbing a Doran's Ring, a small consolation prize. We're getting first blooded, and Voyboy grabbing the blue again. We see Olaf usually liking to get that extra cooldown reduction, and with that extra mana regeneration as well with that blue buff, Saintfish is picking up his own red buff to try and pull the lead back in Curse's favor. Voyboy is going to be super duper scary against that Nijaki Morgana.
And here is the magic of the Voyboy Olaf lane against Morgana. The axe, the undertow that he can poke with infinitely with the blue buff is physical damage, so it doesn't get blocked by Nijaki's black shield. And you can see it took them a while to communicate and adapt to this because now Nijaki is staying away from Voyboy. He cannot deal with the Voyboy lane. They're instead going to try to 2v1, but at this point the Voyboy's level 8 with good farm and a blue buff. They're not necessarily going to be able to deny farm unless Void does his trademark all-out silly aggression and gets himself killed.
And Elements being aggressive on his own, trying to zone Voyboy out of some minion kills. Voyboy, if we look at the top lane matchup, Westrice versus Voyboy, they are fairly even. No, they're not. Voyboy is extremely ahead, 72 minion kills to Westrice's 54. Westrice does have the Hextech Revolver, and Saintfishes is coming down to try and help him build that lead back, but with that belly flop, Big Fat has so much mobility.
Nobody is close to the farm of Voyboy right now, but Big Fat trying to stay alive. Here comes Saintfishes' next gank. Will they try a tower dive? No. They're going to back away. That could have been extremely dangerous. And here comes Hotshot for a potential counter.
Hotshot going for the counter.
And a teleport coming in.
He lands the cleaver, and here comes the teleport coming down from Voyboy. Voyboy's going to turn this into a 3v2. There goes the barrel. Westrice is extremely low, but he does have the pull. He's going to flash out, and both members of Curse are going to get out of that scary situation.
Great escape by Curse, and now the objective is getting pushed up top. Voyboy deserting the top tower, and there are 2 members of Curse that are more than happy to take this objective. They have a 1,000 gold disadvantage. They are trying to get it back right here.
Curse and Cop getting that early tower. It is about 10 minutes. This could be first turret for Curse. Will it? No. Chowster and Double It are going to be able to push them back. They won't be able to turn anything out, but Big Fat is actually teleporting in. A couple things going on. This could be a 3v2 situation. Elements getting caught out by the Crescendo. He's extremely low. Big Fat trying to belly flop in, and Elements is going to go down. Chowster getting credit for the kill. Cop's still there trying to clean something up, but he was unable to convert it. And CLG using those teleports to extend their lead.
Unreal pressure. I can imagine what was going through Curse's mind there. They dodge a teleport gank. You naturally think that the pressure is gone because normally it is only one member that brings a teleport, if any. They let their guard down. They went a little bit aggressive. And there was the next teleport. Keep in mind, Doublelift still has his, so they can continue this teleport pressure as long as they have the cooldowns.
We said that CLG would have to get aggressive early. They couldn't just play defensive. They couldn't just turtle. And they are showing what happens. This is CLG brand aggression, flying all over the map. Big fat ping, 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 and the crescendo from Chowster just catching elements with the back of it.
What did CLG learn in Korea? What did they get from that trip? They had so much scrimming time. They said they were able to practice new strategies. Are they comfortable together? This is one of those things that they did not used to have. They pulled it out briefly in this tournament. They're pulling it out again here when everything's on the line. It's working out pretty well for them so far.
And this is actually the best start in the tournament for CLG. They've previously had slower starts, a little bit back and forth. But
here comes the Curse Dragon control.
Is making sure that they are like clockwork and that when they see an opportunity, they're going to go for this dragon. But CLG is there.
Doublelift still has teleport. He'd be able to make it down if a team fight came out. They're throwing the Gragas ult in, trying to harass. This is going to be a very difficult dragon for Curse to take. They're still on it though.
All 5 members are Cursor there. They're doggedly trying to take this dragon down, but the cleavers and the immense poke. There goes St. Vicious, able to finally take that dragon out. First dragon, Curse Gaming.
Yet another dragon for Curse. This is the story of how they generate gold in these games. But once again, they put all 5 members down there. Doublelift decided not to teleport down, most likely because Chowster would not be able to come with him, and it would have been a 5v4. Instead, they're trying the counter push. They knew that Curse extended themselves there, and they might be able to take the first tower of the game up here.
And Curse Gaming, this was the first time that they had a difficult time picking up that dragon. Normally they would pick their opportunities and they would go in and pick the first dragon up, no problem, as first turret goes down in favor of CLG, Doublelift and Chowster picking that one up, but the poke from Hotshot's cleavers and Big Fat's barrels just made that all that much more difficult, and those are only going to hit harder as the game progresses.
You also have to factor in the fact that Voyboy is maxing his axe as well, so really they have cleavers, axes, and barrels all flying in to harass down Curse, and with that Blitzcrank support, they do not have sustain to necessarily deal with it. If this becomes a siege-based game of sorts, CLG will have a very good time poking down turrets. Curse does need to somehow try to contain this incredibly mobile CLG team, because dealing with all those teleports is a lot to keep track of.
And Hotshot picking up the Oracle's Elixir to try and control these woods that much more. Westrice is going to respond, taking a turret for Curse Gaming, so it's going to be 1 turret each, and Curse making sure that this gold lead does not get out of hand. Big Fat picking up the blue.
So well at generating gold. They've actually allowed Jackie to catch up in farm as well. He was getting tripled by Voyboy earlier, but with that one failed teleport gank that Voyboy did bottom, and then substantial roaming afterwards as Big Fat tries to defend the tower, Jackie is almost caught up, 97 to 107.
And Hotshot is there, Cleaver hitting Westrice,
tower.
But 3v2, Westrice is going to take that second turret out.
That completely evens out the gold jaws, and these teams are pushing very hard. Having 3 towers down in the game at only 14 minutes is a mark of a very fast-paced match. Elements trying to roam around, using that overdrive to speed up, and the Oracle's Elixir has been picked up by Hotshot. Yet to consume it. That's going to be a big factor now that towers are down, lanes are less safe. The safety of the ganks is going to be huge.
Dead even, 18,600 gold for both teams. 2 kills to 1 in favor of CLG. 2 turrets to 1 in favor of Curse, and Curse still has that first dragon. Big Fat taking a quick swig, and he's going to continue to push. Hotshot doing well in the jungle. He has that Heart of Gold as well as the Mercury Treads. And bottom lane, looking at the farm, Doublelift is at 121 to Cop's 112. So Doublelift starting to pull ahead slightly, 4,200 gold, but Cop actually having more with that assist.
Fantastic job of Cop keeping pace with Doublelift. He has stepped up so much in this tournament. Many people used to think Cop and Elements were a weak point in Curse, but if they have proven anything, they were going hit for hit with Chaos and X Special in their previous matches. They can step up, they can play with the very best of them, and they're showing it yet again in this game.
And earlier in this tournament, Afram, it was called the human highlight reel. Well, Doublelift is a mechanical genius and a farm prodigy. He almost never misses a CS. It is impressive as he misses a CS. But Doublelift normally getting so much CS, and it is so difficult to keep pace with him. And that is usually why he is that late game terror, because he just gets his full build that much sooner.
And as we see some action coming down mid, Hotshot roaming with Oracles, St. Vicious roaming with Oracles. St. Vicious needs to put extra attention into clearing out wards because wards are essentially players when you have so many teleports, and if they don't clear those out, then they're much more vulnerable to counter ganks. It's going to be tough for St. Vicious to manage farm, gank pressure, and ward control because there's so much pressure on all three right now.
And look at this bottom lane. Kappa has actually caught up to Doublelift a little bit.
There's a teleport again.
Teleport going down. Voyboy going in, trying to stop Elements. Elements does have the speed boost, and Voyboy getting exhausted. Flash coming in from Downer, getting both members of Curse there. Kappa having the Valkyrie out, and Voyboy is going for the Ragnarok. He wants to take Elements out. He is ignited, but he is so low. Will Doublelift be able to take him out? He will. Doublelift taking the kill, but Nijaki is roaming bottom lane. Will Big Fat be able to stop Nijaki? There's the teleport from Doublelift. He is getting out of there in a hurry. Nijaki missing the binding, so a smart teleport from Doublelift to get out of there after a successful kill.
They're just appearing and disappearing with those amazing summoner spell choices. CLG seemed to get a little confused there. Voyboy couldn't quite make up his mind whether to take on Copper Elements. They barely got out with that kill. And even with that, they're doing so much movement around the map that they are missing out on a few of their minion kills because of the dragon control and because of the 2-tower lead. Despite having a 3-tower advantage, CLG is dead even in gold with Curse right now.
And with that kill, Doublelift picking up his Bloodthirster. As just said, Cop was doing his best to manage that advantage that Doublelift had, but no more first major item to Doublelift. On the other hand, Cop has his Phage and he has a pickaxe, but he has yet to build either that big Trinity Force or that Infinity Edge.
Cop with a slightly different build. I know I'm a cutie pie in these previous games, at least when he plays Ezreal, has been doing a Phage straight into an Infinity Edge. Slightly unconventional, but not too surprising if Cop decides to go that route. Here's a gank coming up top. They're trying to get rid of St. Vicious' Oracles.
Flash going in from Hotshot GG. He does miss the Cleaver, but he lands the second one. Westroyce is there, and Hotshot says, I'm not going to mess with that Vlad.
Hotshot burning his flash there unsuccessfully. Now he is vulnerable with that Oracle's Elixir. There will be so much riding on the first jungler to fall because that 400 gold essentially makes that kill worth double. They have to be very cautious with how they go around and clear wards, because this matchup is dead even still.
Things going down bottom lane. Doublelift trying to sneak out this turret. Elements is there, using his ultimate to clean out this wave. Chaucer and Doublelift going to continue to pressure this bottom turret, but Nijaki and St. Vicious sitting around the dragon. Tick-tock like clockwork. Curse is there.
And also, Voyboy's teleport is not there. Hotshot is roaming up top. They might be trying to push a second tower here, trading the dragon. Much like they did the first tower trade, they're giving this dragon up, knowing Curse is going to be there, predicting their movement, and now they're trying to take another tower.
That bottom lane is extremely low, so the minions are going to be able to take it out, and Voyboy, 3 members of CLG actually are going to be top lane. Voyboy, Hotshot, and Big Fat, and they're going to try and take this top lane to continue to build out an advantage. We are dead even still. 25,000 gold for each team, but let's see how that changes. CLG's pulling ahead again, 3 turrets to 2.
Still, there is so much trading here. CLG is actually avoiding the engagements with Curse, instead trying to just split them up. Even though they got that top turret, they lost their mid turret and a dragon. So they traded 2 turrets for 1 turret and a dragon. It's actually not that big an advantage for them. The trouble CLG might run into, since they are not pulling hugely ahead in this game, is once the game gets contained, once they're grouped up 5v5, they won't have the combat summoners that Curse has, because all their summoners are about map mobility. That's what CLG has to keep in mind. They need to get this game over with. They need to press down Curse harder, because despite losing 3 towers, Curse is doing a very good job holding on.
Curse is making sure that they're getting their farm and getting their items. Let's talk a little bit more about that dragon control, because for Curse, dragon is paramount, but CLG has said multiple times throughout their career as a team that dragon is not as high a priority for them.
This was one of the main sticking points when St. Vicious was clashing with Hotshot back in CLG. Hotshot would always talk about how important top lane was, because he used to be a top laner. He wanted more ganks, he wanted more tower pushes, and he didn't care as much about dragon control. St. Vicious was very much the opposite. He said top lane can usually try to stick with their own thing. It's isolated. Let's win the rest of the map. And you can see these 2 strategies clashing right here.
Elements sitting around mid lane. He's a couple ticks on his ult, pushing that wave out just slightly. Nijaki's going to pick up the blue buff. And Hotshot continuing to clear in this early game. He has been so strong at making sure that Curse has no vision, and St. Vicious has kept getting caught up by wards. Now he's making sure that CLG has as little vision as they can.
They're actually pushing up fairly substantially now. They have the side lanes with the towers down, but middle is still alive. It's barely even damage. That's going to be difficult for CLG as they try to invade the jungle and take control, because as long as the jungles are split up and you can't run through that middle area, you can never really gain full map control. It allows Curse to collapse in very effectively on any type of side lane push. CLG needs to put a lot of attention here into trying to trick Curse into allowing that tower to fall. Their teleports are still down. This could be a bit of a waiting game.
Big Fat Double Lift and Voyboy all waiting. Voyboy's teleport actually just came up, and St. Fish is continuing to clear. St. Fish is looping, was looking at the race, and he's just going to back off and continue to try and deny vision. Voyboy, on the other end, is sitting bottom lane, just shoving and trying to bait out some aggression from Curse Gaming.
Voyboy has absolutely everything up, Ragnarok and Ghost. That essentially makes him ungankable. He will be able to escape from anything. Despite the collapse that Curse could threaten, it's really on Westrice to hold him off, and that is a lot of damage and a lot of lifesteal spell vamp coming back from Westrice, so they're very much just trading and trying to farm that lane down.
That ultimate Ragnarok on Olaf, completely negating any crowd control. That Ghost giving him a little bit of extra speed boost. So like you said, very, very difficult to gank.
And both Hotshot and St. Vicious in an item race of sorts. Saint, the first one to the Aegis of the Legion. You can see Hotshot GG having 3 components of that item and enough gold to finish. When he goes back to buy that Aegis, they will be matched up essentially in team utility on the items. And Hotshot going back right now. Westrice might try to prevent him. No. Hopefully we'll see some team fights soon, most likely around that next dragon.
And Jet, it seems like CLG is also making sure that they can chunk Jackie down as fast as possible. We saw Double Lift taking a couple of pot shots from Jackie. They do have the Voyboy axes, and while Big Fat has that major burst, that can negate a Black Shield in a hurry.
Good dodge.
Big Fat just juking that Dark Binding, Jackie dropping his Black Shield for safety, and he's going to back off.
When Legion played against CLG's split comp in Game 2, they did a great job at initiating hard fights when CLG tried to split them around. Curse has a composition to do this. They need one hook, one Dark Binding, or one St. Vicious Twisted Advance, and they can go. Now that CLG is all grouped up, knowing the importance of this middle tower, this is Curse's chance to finally have CLG in the same place and try to fight. If they get anything, they're gonna go.
All teams are here. Voyboy putting the axe out, trying to get some of the Dark Bindings going out. Unfortunately, just hitting a minion. And both teams are clearing minions, trying to get a hook. Ooh, Big Fat just missing. He has been so good on those dupes already. Westrice taking some pain from Big Fat. Those barrels are going to be starting to hurt. Big Fat does have his Deathfire Grasp, but he's going to be able to burst straight away. He has the double Doran's Rings as well as that extra Magic Pen.
Curse, because of CLG's composition, has to be very careful how long they stick around, and they have to keep in mind the positioning of the side lanes. If the minions push up on either side, anyone from CLG could go there and just take out another tower. So this Curse poke siege is on a clock. Those side lanes are pushing. If they don't get something done soon, they will have to back up to clear those side lanes in threat of CLG.
And it looks like Curse is going to back out. Elements dropping a speed boost. Will he get the hook? No! CLG, but Elements being forced to flash out. Shirelius gets popped. Elements is in trouble. Will he go down? There's the counter initiate from Westrice. Westrice going in. Voyboy's going to take Elements out. Westrice is in the middle of that team, and Hotshot trying to zone people out. Here comes Jackie. Jackie has Voyboy, but Voyboy's going to be able to get out of there. Big Fat missing another binding, and Curse able to pick up a kill, but not before Elements went down. Got a little caught out in that one.
That was the full-on fight they've been waiting for. It was not necessarily the cleanest engage for Curse. If it would have went slightly cleaner, they could have cleaned up. So many people were flashing red on CLG after that fight. All flashes were burned on Curse's side. They had to flash over the wall to get in position of Elements. That could have been a lot cleaner if they initiated properly. Because of this, though, CLG, with enough sustain that they might take down this middle tower, which is going to open up the floodgates for their split push.
And CLG losing their AD carry, while Curse only losing their support. But it doesn't matter. They're going to continue to push out, but St. Fish is making sure that he uses those saplings to stave off this mid lane push. And CLG is just going to back off.
Looking at some of the AD carry item builds, Double Lift going with that Bloodthirster Phantom Dancer, whereas Cop is going with the Infinity Edge Phage and slowly into a Trinity Force. Right now I have to give that edge to Double Lift. He's going to be much more sustaining in team fights. That item synergy is slightly stronger now. Once the Triforce is down, Cop will have the slow, which will be so much threat for him. The next dragon is up, and CLG is trying for a Baron. They knew Curse was going to be going for that time, but they're going to try to rush it down before Curse can make it.
CLG rushing this down, but they are taking a lot of damage. Hotshot being forced to pop his ultimate. He takes one more pot shot from Baron, a heal from Chowster, and he is going to back off. Curse is there to respond, and CLG is going to have to back right away.
CLG trying not necessarily to directly stop Curse's Dragon, but instead distract them off by forcing other objectives. The top 2 towers that are down in the top lane were both taken during a Curse Dragon. They tried to take a Baron as well, but Curse was not going to fall for the same trick 3 times.
Chat, it really seems like CLG is playing off of this clockwork objective-taking strategy from Curse Gaming.
They're starting to expect what Curse is going to be able to do because they have somewhat standardized their play. We've seen Morgana in almost every game that Nijak can get it. Every time Westrise can get Vladimir, you've seen it. So CLG has been able to study and watch what Curse has done this entire tournament. So they are trying to predictively stop what they're doing. Boy clearing out wards at Baron. CLG, without those combat summoners though, do have to be careful. They're doing a decent job at splitting up, but this game is by no means at all decided.
So many wards from Curse Gaming, as well as those saplings, trying to make sure that they have as much vision as they can. Nijak, he has the Abyssal Scepter as well as his needlessly large rods. He's going to be building into that Zhonya's ring. Or Zhonya's Hourglass, excuse me. Westrise already has his Hourglass as well as building into that Will of the Ancients. So he has been farming quite well. He has that kill as well as 185 minion kills, 2 Big Fats, 178.
Curse is going to be very close to completing a huge amount of aura items. You can see that the Will of the Ancients, as you said, is coming down from Westrise. Elements is soon to complete a Zeke's Herald. That's most likely what he's turning that Kindle Gem into. They already have the Aegis. They will have an Abyssal Scepter up on CLG as well. So if they can get a teamfight as they pick up that Clean Dragon, good work. They will have a big teamfight advantage just based on aura items, assuming they can corral CLG.
That's the 3rd Dragon from Curse. They have had complete Dragon control, and CLG trying to make them pay by pushing out these lanes and putting as much pressure on CLG as they can. That Will of the Ancients, we were talking about giving a little bit of extra spell vamp. Morgana already has that natural spell vamp from her passive, so she's going to try and stay in these fights as long as she can. Big Fat going in with the ultimate. Saintfish is using it for the counter initiate onto double lift, but Curse just going to back off once again, but not before taking a massive amount of poke from CLG.
Curse doing a fantastic job holding off this tower. They know the importance of it, which is why they're grouping around it so dedicatedly. Curse trying to hold off the split push from Voyboy, but if Voyboy decides to teleport down, Comp will have no way of interrupting it. Very interesting, dangerous spot to be in for Curse. They might try and initiate at some point if they can somehow group together. They don't want to engage in an accidental 4v5 here just because of that Voyboy split push. CLG containing Curse fairly well.
And CLG slowly trying to push down this middle turret. Those barrels from Big Fat are starting to hit a little bit harder. Big Fat has his Negatron cloak as well. And Elements, there's the flash in from Saintfish as he is getting super aggressive. He is in between 3 members. The flash in from Elements, but the barrel from CLG and Chowster, as well as the ultimate from Double is going to force him to back up, but Hotshot is out of position, and Curse sees him. The speed boost from Elements will Hotshot back up. The Cleaver lands onto Westrise as the rest of Curse pushes down mid lane. Voyboy, on the other hand, is top lane, just pushing down the Curse base. He does have his teleport up, so he'll be able to join the fight as soon as he wants. He's using those axes to clear those waves. Cop is there to stave him off of there. But CLG making sure that Curse just has no idea where to engage.
They have very strong disengage. This is a little bit of what Dignitas did to them yesterday. They could never seem to get onto the Gragas because he would always build them back. Also, Sona's crescendo there from Chowster was very effective at just stopping Curse in their tracks. They used all their they used a couple flashes, they used a lot of skills just to try to start the fight. This Baron's getting very low. Curse gonna try to steal it, but this is tough.
Nijak flashing in, he has 3 members in there, and blue team will take Baron Nafter. CLG taking that one out. Big Fat a little bit late, but he's gonna nuke Nijak double it, taking Saintfish out, and this is a bloody fight as Cop comes in to try and clean things up. Voyboy's extremely low, and Cop's gonna take him out. Westrise popping his zone as he flashes in to try and stop it, but Chowster picking up the kill. So overall, a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of CLG, and Big Fat just completely nuked Nijak in that exchange.
CLG surprising me as well as Curse with that aggressive Baron play. I wasn't expecting them to go for it that fast, but they were just waiting. They realized they'd split up Curse enough. With that failed initiate, they burned enough of their aggression off. There was someone on Curse top or bottom lane as well. That Baron move by CLG was all about them taking the initiative, taking control of the game themselves, and let's watch that one more time. You can see that they weren't even quite ready for that. Voyboy doing such a good job distracting Saintfishes. Nijak finally realizes something up and desperately tries to flash in and all. Saintfishes cannot get into smite range, so it is a clean Baron for Hotshot, and that was just tomfoolery and good positioning by CLG, confusing Curse and making it so they could not disrupt that Baron.
Cop doing his best to try and follow up on this fight, but CLG disengaging once again, and Chauster picking up the passing kill on Westrice. Overall, smart play from CLG. It seems like Curse just cannot get a full engage from CLG, because as soon as they think they have the advantage, someone's going to teleport in.
Frustration is definitely setting in for Curse here. They don't seem to know exactly how to deal with this composition, or they were surprised by the 3 teleport strategy. They're trying desperately, you can see, to start fights, and CLG just is not letting it happen. Curse wants to group up. They want to see the turtling CLG that they're used to playing against, but that is just not what they're getting presented, and you can tell it is frustrating them quite a lot.
And CLG is completely controlling the pace of this game. This is one of their best starts in their game. They had previously been a little bit looser in their early games, but right now they are stepping up their level of play to make sure that they try to secure this 3rd place series.
The big obstacle for CLG here is getting the exposed inhibitors, getting those towers down to guarantee they keep Curse corralled. They got corralled yesterday by Dignitas in that 76-minute game and could never quite escape. It was that slow war of attrition. They're trying to turn that back around onto Curse here. Everyone on Curse, 4 members sitting at mid. Voyboy once again split pushing, trying to take on Westrice. He's actually bullying him quite hard here. Westrice saving his pool of blood. Warmog's armor, Negatron Cloak, and a Hex Drinker on Voyboy. Incredibly tanky magic resist items. That build is telling me he does not fear Cop yet, because that is all about surviving and dueling Westrice.
And Voyboy has been doing such a smart job of making sure that he stays alive as long as he can. He is following Westrice past this turret, taking a couple hits down onto it and putting as much pressure as he can. 4 members of CLG there, and Curse is trying to force another engagement, but St. Vicious's Twisted Advance just does not fire the vision denying. But there's a pull onto Big Man LP. Will they be able to nuke him down? The ultimate going down, and Cop is going to drop the Batman Gragas.
Now, can they do anything off of that pick? They've been waiting for it. This is why they picked Blitzcrank. They wanted to create advantages. Voyboy falling back. They're calling him. They need him to defend towers. Westrice is going to try to make it mid during this death timer for Big Fat. It's a long one. Still 40 seconds left. What is Curse going to do? They're getting pushed around. They're getting split pushed. They need to try to do something here. But can CLG reset this? Can they wait for Big Fat? Here comes the push mid. Voyboy still split pushing, by the way.
4 members of Curse pushing down, and Voyboy still has that teleport. He still has that ghost, and he still has his Ragnarok, so he can get into Zenhari.
They landed,
but there's a binding, and St. Vicious is going in. Curse trying to be as aggressive as they can. Chaucer trying to counter initiate, but Nijaki is going to clean up Double Lift. Double Lift getting caught out. There is another binding on the Hot Trade GG. Curse trying to take this turret down, and they're going to succeed and close this gap.
Hotshot actually popping his ultimate, doing a bit of chasing down onto the rest of Curse. They're trying to prevent them from defending against Voyboy. Gonna end up falling back here, trying to re-corral Curse. That was a good aggressive move by Curse, but it's not quite enough. They need to continue getting those bindings and landing those hooks.
Curse Gaming popping that Shrillia speed boost to get out of that engagement. Those bindings, we said, if there is a binding landed, if there is a hook landed, or if St. Vicious sees an opportunity, and he saw that opportunity on Double Lift and made him pay right away. But CLG making Dragon a priority right now. They want to make sure that they hold this lead. They're about 2,400 gold ahead, and with this Dragon, they're going to extend that even further.
Even though Curse has been controlling the Dragon thus far, it's not because CLG is not knowledgeable of it. They have counterplays set up for that Dragon. This was just the opportunity. Everyone of Curse was back. There was no Baron, there were no towers to push, so they took the Dragon. You can just see on their tier list of priorities, Dragon is lower than towers and objectives like Baron, so it was up, they took it, they're still controlling the game, they got picked, they need to keep up the pressure and keep doing what got them here.
Westrice picking up some major items. He has been farming a ton, 259 minion kills to Voyboy's 256, so he's holding steady in that regard. He picked up a Rabadon's Death Cap. He decided to turn that blasting one into the Death Cap instead of going for the Will of the Ancients. He still has that Zonia's Hourglass, and Nijaki does it as well, so Curse Gaming could bait out some engagements with those couple seconds of invulnerability. And Curse showing that they're making sure that despite being off-kilter, one good hook is all it's going to take.
I'm a little surprised by Curse's item choices there. Not getting the Will of the Ancients does put down that Jackie a bit, and there's a bind onto Hotshot. He's trying to flash away. It's very hard to catch Mundo.
Hotshot getting flashed. He uses his ultimate, which gives him the speed boost. There's the Shirelius. St. Vicious may be able to land the Twisted Advance. He does, but the rest of CLG is trying to initiate with a flank from the back. The speed boost going out from Voyboy. Voyboy is ghosted as well, and he is beelining straight for both of these mages. They're going to back off, and Elements and Joust are in a 1v1 doubleth, looping around, trying to pick which side of the engagement he wants to start on. And Cursed Gaming staving off that two-pronged assault from CLG.
Hotshot taking some snacks in the mid lane after his escape through all of Curse, throwing cleavers. He is a very, very tanky Dr. Mundo. They have done so much with their builds right now to withstand Nijaki's initial burst on Morgana and Vladimir, and they're trying to sustain through that upfront burst from Curse in teamfights. They're building very much for the late game with this split-up push, and there's Curse trying to force the objective. We could see something very big here.
Hotshot flanking once again, just dropping some cleavers with the rest of the team following up, but Curse is just going to back off. The double Warmogs, it makes them so tanky. One cleaver's landed, there is the black shield, but Nijaki is still slowed. They are in range if Hotshot lands one more cleaver. He does not, it's just out of range, but there's the Shirelius. Boy going in, he wants to land one more X. CLG has so much chasing potential, but they are blocked by those minion waves. Boy gets found, and CLG is just going to have to back off once again. Hotshot popping his ultimate to get that health gain back, and with that Warmogs, look at that health gain.
Some cross-country racing coming down here as we see back-to-back pushes in the mid lane. The Hook's trying to stop the Baron. They know the timer. They're forcing this. This could very well be the fight. CLG might try to disengage us and fight, but this could also go down. This is very low. This is going to be big.
Now he's going in. He flashes. There goes the ultimate. He has the ultimate still on Boy,
Disengage
but he's forced to back out. The Binding lands onto Doublelift, but Big Fat just nuking Nijaki. Once again, Hotshot hiding in the back of the Baron pit as Doublelift destroys St. Vicious. Elements trying to get Hotshot out of there. Cop is trying to clean up. Hotshot is able to take Hotshot out, but Cop and Elements are going to be forced to disengage once again. Another 3-for-1 exchange in favor of CLG off of a Baron bait.
Hotshot spent that entire fight trying to finish off Baron. That was a bit of a mistake. They could have picked up a clean ace and then a Baron if he would have been alive. But even with that, the disengage on Nijaki's Morgana ultimate was incredible. The stun did not proc on a single member, and that granted them the advantage in that team fight. You can see via their items, Double with a Quicksilver Sash, everyone else with Warmogs, Aegis of the Legion, everyone building dynamic versatility and magic resist. They're building against Curse. They're getting these objectives. This is the wall they need to break. There's the inhibitor coming up shortly.
CLG continuing to put auto attacks down. They could get the first inhibitor of this game one. Will they? One last hit will do it. A minion is going to take out the first inhibitor for CLG.
So much pressure this whole game. And what they've done so well here is having the teleports to split up Curse and contain them, yet still building the right items to have an advantage in teamfights. Morgana, despite being fantastic in the middle game with that ultimate chunking people down into kill range for Cop, once you see the tankiness, this is one of the beefiest front lines I've ever seen from Hotshot GG and Voyboy. Double Warmogs, Negatron Cloak, Shirelia's Revelries, Chain Vests. Once Voyboy finishes off that random zone with his 3,000 gold, he just completed it. They're going to be big and Curse. Last-ditch effort here. They're trying to 5-man Baron. They saw it. CLG went back to base. They might be able to get this.
Curse is 5,000 gold down, and they're trying to change that Hotshot there. Voyboy teleporting in, and Curse is going to turn onto them. Voyboy does not have the Ragnarok. He's going to use it to pop out, and he's going to be in a 4v1 with
push down inhibitors
Voyboy. St. Vicious is chasing Hotshot down, and Cop's going to pick up the kill. And on the other end, Doublelift using that teleport, that double teleport, and this could be another inhibitor for CLG. Nijaki using his ultimate onto Voyboy. Voyboy no longer has his ultimate. He gets done. He is ignited. Wester's Nijaki desperately trying to take him out, but with that Warmog, he is so hard to kill. He finally goes down.
Cop in a battle up top,
paying the price, and Doublelift takes him out. That's a double kill for CLG. Inhibitor number 2. CLG in the driver's seat, 6,000 gold ahead.
This is what they tried to do against Legion when they had that incredibly close back-and-forth game. Winning these dirty team fights that CLG is creating, they are chaotic. They are not clean, but they are winning them this time, and they're getting chased down by Westrise and Blitzcrank here. Double trying to turn around. He doesn't know Westrise is there.
Doublelift is out of position. Westrise is there. He has a ton of damage with that death cap, but Doublelift is on a rampage. He's going to turn around and create a 1-for-1 exchange out of a dire situation.
3.3 thousand gold onto Doublelift here. He's going to be hitting max items very soon, much sooner than Cop. All the split pushing, all the towers and objectives that CLG is creating has granted Doublelift 14.8 thousand gold to only 12.9 thousand for Cop. So a big edge starting to form for CLG. That last-ditch Baron attempt by Curse created a lot of action, but CLG, like they have this entire game, had an answer for Curse's objective control, and they keep pushing this. Let's see a replay of that incredibly chaotic series of events. So we see Hotshot and Olaf trying to disrupt. There's 5 members on Baron. They peel them off just right. Take a look at how long they're surviving. Keep in mind, they're not trying to kill here. They're just trying to disrupt. This whole time, Doublelift and Big Fat are pushing down those towers. So much stall. They face tank the turret with the cast there, taking reduced damage. And that was just the start of that incredible engagement. We have to go back to live. The CLG is forcing again.
CLG turning it around on Curse, trying to take a Baron of their own. They're going to back out off of this. Curse Gaming, once again, trying to group up as 5. They are desperately trying to create some form of hard engage, and now CLG has 2 Oracle's Elixirs. They want to make sure that Curse has as little vision as possible so that they continue this disruption, that this triple teleport promote, favoring so well for this CLG play.
Comp really needs to get a Last Whisper. The immensely beefy tank line of Dr. Mundo and Olaf is just destroying him in teamfights. He cannot kill people because they are too beefy. CLG forcing down on this Baron immediately. They know Curse is not here. Saintfish just needs to try to steal this.
Saintfish is there. He does have vision with those extra saplings. He's sitting around waiting for a Nijaki going in with the flash. He has the ultimate. Saintfish is going in, but Hotshot's going to pick up the Baron. Nijaki dropping his open, and there goes the crescendo from Chowster. Doublelift able to take Nijaki out, and now CLG is going to chase down the rest of Curse Gaming. This is clean up through Central. Doublelift is sitting around. Could he get a triple kill? Couple more hits will do it. Westrice popping his Zonias to elongate his life, but that'll be it. That's almost an ace. Cop being able to get out of there, but he is the only one left alive for Curse Gaming, and CLG is beelining for the last living inhibitor as the CLG chant starts.
This is an evolved CLG playing right now. They are not playing passive. This entire game, they were taking the initiative, taking down the 3rd inhibitor. 5 members still alive, only Cop there to defend. There's no way he has enough damage to stop this push. Getting shut down, having to go back. This is a CLG Game 1 victory. 1 game away from taking it in to the Season 2 championship.
That last fight was unreal from CLG. A desperation attempt from Curse Gaming to try and take that Baron, but Hotshot outsmiting Saint Vicious, and the rest of CLG just cleaning up the burst from Big Fat, and Doublelift doing work once again, carrying as he has been all tournament. Interesting fact, Chowster on that Oracle's Elixir, CLG had a ton of confidence because he hasn't died in 2 hours of gameplay.
Chowster, exceptional positioning, and they're coming together. You can see them splitting up so well. They're only taking the fights they want, and Chowster, we said, he was the strategic theory crafter of those things. So if anyone knows how to stay alive and knows how to position himself in those teams, it would be Chowster. That's what supports do. They sit in the back. They don't need to build tank counters because if you play it right, you don't get hit.
And Chowster has been spot on with those crescendos. Sona, such an aggressive support with that area of effect stun. We're going to get a replay of that final push from CLG.
They're just rolling through this Baron here. They're trying to take it so fast. The big thing is they saw Westrice trying to clear the minions. There were 2 waves of super minions pushing, so Curse was split up. CLG took the opportunity to pounce. Hotshot had the confidence that he could outsmart his former jungler, and he does. They try to initiate, but even if they'd stolen the Baron, it would be a 3v5. They get the crescendo, they get the chase, and they get the Game 1 victory.
CLG ahead 1-0. They are 1 game away from sealing their fate in the World Championship Playoff and the Season 3 Championship Series. We will be right back with Game 2 after a quick break. Do not go anywhere.